Okay, so I think it's about time I did a Bootleather podcast, and I'll be doing one solo today. So, this will be a mini Bootleather and whatnot. No guest, obviously. Mini Bootleathers won't have guests. Major Bootleather episodes will have a guest. If you follow me on Facebook, you know there's a secret Bootleather where I got a uh, former acquaintance from America, who I hold no ill will towards. I still love you, brother. One day I'm going to come see you, but no, what he did towards the end of the podcast, that shit is not going public. At least my Facebook is reasonably hidden that only my actual friends know who the fuck I am. But yeah. So what is the topic of today? Today's topic is my personal interpretation and, well, failure to live up to the MGTOW philosophy. But also, where I stand on, well, myself and toxicity, and why MGTOW is the least toxic, least sexist solution to the fact that I am, quite literally, a fucking control freak. I am a toxic male. Right? The common denominator in every single one of my failed relationships, and even my failed friendships, is quite literally, I will micromanage other people's problems and fix them for them, whether they like it or not, because I'm good at fixing shit, but not myself. Right? I'm also an enabler, to a certain extent, and I am also a fucking, well, straight up control freak. Right? Politically, I'm a libertarian, but even you give anyone fucking power, it corrupts them. So, let's start with what MGTOW is. Right, MGTOW is an acronym that stands for Men Going Their Own Way, MGTOW. And in a nutshell, in its simplest, purest, evil hairless monkey, anyone can understand this way of explaining it. If you haven't fucking come here from some feminist blog who wants to fucking belittle us because she thinks anyone that doesn't want to fuck her is either gay or has a little dick, right? And anyone who disagrees with her is toxic, right? The whole long and short of it is, the MGTOW philosophy is looking at the radical feminism and what it has done to the family court system and whatnot, and I'll touch on abortion as well, right, as I already have, and basically turned marriage and having children into a lottery system that is, you always win a prize purely for the woman. There are some cases where men have been afforded custody and even child support, but they are statistical outliers, right? Now, let's look at the statistics of marriage throughout the Western world, and this includes Australia, England, America, the UK, Europe, so on and so forth, right? Marriage is no longer a sacrament, right? Whether you're religious or not, right? 60% of all first marriages end in divorce, and 80% of those divorces are filed by the female. Second marriages, somewhere along the lines of 80%. Third marriages, if you're dumb enough to do that, 90%. And it gets worse from there, obviously. Right? Now, almost to a T. I'm not going to, speak definitively here and make myself a Sith Lord, but, almost always, right? Because it is considered the best interest of the child, regardless of how much of a horrible mother they might be, right? Custody is almost always awarded to the female. Now, there are people in my own social circle who will turn around and say, no, that didn't happen, I was given to my father. You're a statistical outlier, right? And you know how that worked out, right? There's a reason why there's the misnomer that the mother is the better caregiver, right? And, there is such thing as gender roles for a reason, biologically speaking. It goes all the way back to the Stone Age. Women are not physically as powerful as men, that's just a fact of life. We were more capable of killing woolly mammoth and bashing other caveman who forced his dick into your vajayjay, right? Which we know you know what, so we fucking bonk him over the head with rock, and then you reward us with your vajayjay willingly, right? Let's just fucking face it, we're all a bunch of evil fucking hairless monkeys that just want to reproduce. And those of us who don't, like myself, are statistical outliers. Now, I'm getting into a ramble here, but fuck this. It's a Bootleather podcast. I'm allowed to. Right? And I have the full fucking microphone because it is just me today. But, ultimately, it looks at this situation where women are almost always afforded custody, and you have to work now to fucking pay for these children that you don't get to see because she got the house, she got the car, she got the dog, she shot your dog, right? Fucking bitch. I haven't had that happen to me, but I know several men who have, right? And not only that, she's turning around and running you down to your fucking kids and saying, oh, he's a fucking deadbeat, that's why I'm no longer with him, and so on and so forth, right? And here's the kicker, they don't even have to be your kids, right? She could have been sleeping around at the time, and if you haven't fucking, got that back up already, shown that, this kid ain't mine, right? It doesn't matter. Once she's awarded alimony, you are now legally, contractually, motherfucking obliged, and if you don't, you go to jail. Right? Now, I can argue the nuances about whether or not women should have the vote. I personally think no one should have the vote until they've done national service. That's why, even though I'm registered to vote, I don't vote. Right? It used to be that, for a man to vote, he needed to either, one, be a veteran, or two, fucking have land that he personally owns and pays tax on. Right? Now, us millennials are never going to fucking own land, right? Unless, we're one of the lucky ones. And, well, quite frankly, very few of us have done national service. We should not be allowed to fucking vote. Man or woman. And guess what? In Australia, as of 2016, even the fucking SAS, our fucking elite, every role in the Australian Defence Force has to allow a woman who meets the criteria to serve that role. So, yeah. Congratulations. In my system, I'm not fucking saying a woman can't vote. I'm saying do your fucking 4 years. But, anyway, without getting into all of that, right, MGTOW looks at this situation and goes, you know what? I'm checking out the system. Right? There's two methods, and you can alternate between the two of them, and I kind of fucked up when I alternated. Right? You go monk mode. Pure fucking celibacy. Right? You try to even limit the, nighttime emissions when you fucking pleasure yourself. Right? You try to just put sex out of your mind entirely. Right? And I frequently go into monk mode. Right? And then you've got PUA, pick-up artist, which is where, you hit the clubs, right? You throw in 100 shots and you maybe walk out with 10. Right? Not at once. But, if you can, well done you. But, yeah. I went PUA about a year ago, and I've got, this thing that thinks it can hitch a trailer to me that I'm going to have to let down softly eventually, right? If you're watching this, yeah, now you know my intentions, right? I fucking care for you. I'm going to fucking help you stay in this country for as long as you wish to stay here, but you're not getting the fucking marriage and picking fences and kids. If I have to cut my balls, I will, right? I told you on day fucking dot that I was just, fair weather sailor friend. I was here for a good time, not a long time. You said you understood that, but clearly you didn't. So yeah, right. I've tried to tell you numerous times over the phone, and you've just emotionally blackmailed me and become hyper-possessive to the point that, I don't tell you when I'm hanging out with my female friends, because you're going to immediately assume I'm going to cheat on you. And the closest I have come to that was quite literally, having a joint with someone, and I felt guilty about that. That's fucked. Right? So, yeah. Right? Especially considering I told you that, I was the hit it and quit it type. But anyway, this is a conversation that should be in person, and I am a deadbeat putting it on the internet, but I'm not saying your name. So, consider yourself lucky that way. But, I am a fucking deadbeat control freak. When you look at my relationships before I discovered the MGTOW philosophy and also realized that the common denominator in every single one of my failed relationships was me, you've got my first proper... Well, actually, let's go all the way back. First kiss. First kiss was, in the 4th grade, fucking little blonde girl, shoved her fucking tongue down my throat. Oh, I thought, oh, this is fucking cool. Right, growing up, older, what the fuck did that poor little girl have going on at home that, had her realize that, that's how you kiss someone? But that's not a relationship. That's, pretend. And, high school, my first girlfriend, well, at the time, my high school did not go all the way through to year 12. Now, Australians will understand this, right? In Australia, we segregate our school into primary and secondary, or, primary is high school. We don't have middle school, unless you're a rich kid and go to grammar school. So it goes, pre-K, kindergarten, what we call then pre-primary, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It used to go to 7. It doesn't now. Right? 7 is now the first year of high school. 8, 9, 10. There's your fucking middle school for Americans, right? 11, 12 graduation. You either go to TAFE, which is for Americans, trade school, or you go to university if you want the smart kids. I had the brains for university, but I did not have the grades for university because I was a lazy motherfucker. There you go. There's some fucking truth bombs. I was a lazy motherfucker. If I wanted to, I could have run circles around the curriculum. But, I'm saying this. My first relationship in high school, she was going off to a different campus for year 11 and 12. She was my senior, literally. And basically, she comes back and goes, I love you, right? And I'm like, she only fucking says this when she knows she's done something wrong. And I'm like, what did you do? Well, I met these 3 guys in the orientation. I'm like, did you fuck any of them? I kind of fucked all of them. I wanted protection. And yeah, that was my only fucking proper relationship in high school. I had opportunities for one-night stands that I passed up, and let me tell you something about the male psyche girls, right? When a guy fucking rebuffs you and rejects you, right, it may hurt you for a little bit, but you move on and get the next guy. That motherfucker is going to be thinking for the rest of his life, how good was that pussy going to be if I took it? Believe me, when he rejects you, it hurts him more in the long run. Think about that. But yeah, basically, I had an unrequited love after her right up until year 12. Didn't work out. She ended up having someone else's kid. That was the moment that I finally was able to move on. Couple of internet relationships, fucking millennial mistake 101. And then a psychosexual BDSM-filled relationship that, yeah. And I'm choosing not to include one-night stands and, professional call girls. And I've got a whole fucking segment on that coming up. But, after her, it was nothing for a long time, and then a year's relationship with an indigenous girl who knew where I stood on the whole MGTOW thing, and accepted that. We kind of drifted away and cut off communication mutually after a while, and then there's the one I'm with now. But ultimately, in every single one of these relationships, and every single one of them, I look at someone's problem, I find a way to fix it, and I fix it by telling you what to do. And you start off, listening and happy, oh, that worked, thank you, and so on and so forth. But eventually, I'm micromanaging your whole fucking life to the point that, I'm sending you fucking automated text messages to say, it's time for you to work out, it's time for you to eat, it's time for you to sleep now, so on and so forth. Have a nice productive day, I love you, dear. I'm a fucking time Nazi that controls every aspect of your life. Do you really want that? No. However, you want some Christian Grey stuff? Well, if I was rich, maybe I'd go and open a gentleman's club. But I'm not rich. I'm trailer park trash. Right? If I was the main character in 50 Shades of Grey, it would be an episode of Criminal Minds. You don't want me engaging in the kind of relationship I engaged with my first real fucking relationship. That girl was a freak, and she turned me into a pervert. Saying that, Mama raised me to be a gentleman. Now, when it comes to call girls, right? And this particularly goes out to men, because women will, laugh and carry on, and, men who've fallen for the narrative will laugh and carry on. This is for young men, coming out of high school, right? Gone are the days where, your first time is special, magical, or wonderful, and it never fucking is. That was always a myth, right? You're going to fumble around, and you're going to fucking prematurely ejaculate in your first time, mate. Like, no one's a stud on their first go. But in saying that, the whole idea of your first love is going to be the one that you take with you to the grave, and the white fences and, white picket fences and, 2.5 kids with a half kid being a dog. Those days are long since fucking gone. Alright? Now, if you want a wow girl these days, I'm not going to say the typical tagline, you don't need 6-pack abs, you don't need a 6-figure fucking salary, you don't need to be 6 foot tall. Look at me, I'm 5'11", I used to be 6 foot, I shattered my fucking leg and lost 3/4 of an inch, right? I do not have 6-pack abs. I had 6-pack abs once in my fucking life, and yes, it helped me get laid, right? But, I've gotten laid with a fucking pot belly, man, and a fucking scrubby ass beard, and a fucking, a creepo stash, right? Fucking, when the opportunity presents itself, it does when you're not looking for it. It will present itself naturally. If you wish to pursue love and you try to grasp it in your hands, that is when you have lost it. No. The easiest way to get laid is to just not give a fuck about getting laid. Focus on yourself. Right? If you want those 6-pack abs, because they do help. Fucking work out. Diet, nutrition. right? You want that 6 foot tall fucking physique. Well, I'm sorry, mate. You got what nature gave you, and it's not entirely necessary. You want that 6-inch dick? Well, there are ways of making it longer. They're expensive and painful and whatnot. I don't highly recommend them. Right? Use what nature's given you. The longer you're with a partner, the more you're going to learn their ins and outs. And, if you've been with someone for, a while, and you've been intimate enough times, well, you're going to learn the combination to a safe. A little to the right, a little to the left, up, down, left, right, A, B, A, B. Oh, there you go, honey, you're in the ozone. So, yeah. And in saying this, right, you're not going to learn shit all from porn. Porn is purely designed for the male fantasy, and, well, smut books are purely designed for the female fantasy. I suggest both young males and females do a healthy, education through both. But if you really want to fucking learn how to treat a woman, and you've got disposable income, motherfucker, the world's oldest profession still exists. Right? Go into your fucking newspaper, go on fucking line, and, literally fucking search escorts near me. Right? Go to your local fucking brothel if there is one. Sometimes there's seedy ones downtown, with the white fucking fairy lights and the, out forward out windows. Telltale fucking sign. That's either a drug house or a fucking backyard brothel. Right? Now, in saying this, right, if you have enough money to meet a girl's commission rate, that you can hire out for a whole fucking night, and she has no other clients, so you're not getting sloppy seconds that night, right? You can take her out to dinner, you can wine and dine her, right? And you can fucking have her to your heart's content all fucking night. Do this once every couple of months, right? Get your favorite fucking hooker, or, get a different hooker every time. Literally get these girls to teach you the fucking moves, right? Not only that, you've got a gorgeous girl dressed up in some sexy but classy outfit, and you're seen in public with them. Your reputation instantly goes up, even if people know she's a prostitute, because they themselves, whether they admit it or not, have engaged in her services. They would know how much she charges. So they know you're throwing cash around. They know you have that status. Now, in saying this, these girls can teach you how to use your hands, use your mouth, use your tongue in more ways than one, both sexual and otherwise, and so on and so forth. Right? When I am working, I don't date. No, when I am working, I go to fucking whores. Right? And yes, I fuck the shit out of them, but I wine and dine them first. Right? When I have disposable income, that is me. Drugs, hookers, and fucking, well, alcohol, occasionally, but I don't like alcohol. My daddy was a drinker, and I don't want to become a daddy. But yeah, I get high. Weed, only. I don't touch the hard stuff. And I fuck bitches. When I have the money to do so. Because money is the great negotiator. Right? Like, literally, my favorite fucking pickup line, right, especially if you have the ability to back it up, is, I have $10,000 in my pocket. Would you fuck me for that? Now that we've established what you are, let's negotiate. Especially if you have the money right there, and they can see the greenbacks. Now, I am not a wealthy man. I'm fucking trailer trash. When I have money, it means I've either had, one lucky break or fucking, well, I've been up to no good. And I've been up to no good in a long fucking time, and I am all out of lucky breaks. So all I can do is really just pass on what I've learned for trial and error. And that is quite literally, right? You want to be good in the sack. 1, every girl is different, and it takes practice. But 2, you can get the general gist of it from women who are literally paid to do it. Right? Just don't treat them like a fucking sex doll. Right? Treat them with some fucking respect. They're out there providing a service. The least you can do is, put on your customer service face and service them a bit. Anyway, this is rambling on too long. Right? Point is, actually, I forgot to mention abortion. No natural way to segue, but here we go. Right? You want to know my political stance because you've gotten a few out of here now that you can smear me with. Right? If you're pregnant, if you're fucking pregnant, right, you'll know by the time you've missed your first monthly. If you don't know that, then I'm sorry, you're not intelligent enough to raise a child, right? But in saying this, right, if you were raped, if it was incestuous, if it was pedophilic, go ahead. If you're carrying a stillborn, go ahead. If you are too fucking weak, skinny, and frail, like some people I know, right, to carry that to term without severely breaking yourself or killing yourself, go ahead. But if you're going in this thing 3 months late, haven't gotten your monthly, It's 3 months late. Oh, well, that's murder. End of story. Goodbye. You should feel shame. I'm not going to stop you from doing it, but you should feel shame. You have killed a human life due to your own fucking laziness. Right? The pill, the diaphragm, the fucking spermicide gels, the fucking rod, the IUD, there was a male contraceptive pill, but no, we're not allowed to have that, right? Condoms, female condoms, the Catholic family planning method, which doesn't really fucking work, or, you just don't have sex. Believe me, from someone who has had the raunchiest fucking everyday, multiple times a fucking day with fucking kinky ass toys, right? You eventually run out of ways to make it interesting. And the generally experience itself is hot and sweaty, noisy, and makes a lot of fucking uncomfortable sounds and smells. Right? Unless it's with someone that you generally fucking give a shit about, right? It's a quick fucking 3 to 5 minute, maybe longer if you're a fucking stayer, right? Workout with a little payoff at the end, right? If there's no emotion in that, sex is take it or leave it for me, right? It's not as fun as movies or porn makes it out to be. Right, that girl that's sitting there going, oh yeah, more cock, within 30 fucking seconds, bitch, please. Alright, unless you haven't had it for a really fucking long time, be honest, ladies, if you get this far into the video, how many guys have really made you come within 3 to fucking 30 seconds? No, it takes a little bit of work done, man. Right? Likewise, men. Right? If you have had it, right? Can you not seriously tell that, the girls on porn are faking it? Oh my god, as soon as it's put in, really? No. Just no. Fucking, it don't work that way. No. First of all, you just shove it in, the immediate reaction is, well, not there, cunt. Fucking definitely not there. You missed by 3 or 4 inches without warning her. Definitely not there. But, point is, alright, I am not abstinent by any fucking means, but I am not a fucking procreator, right? My distant motherfucking goal, right, is to one day have an academy where I teach vocationary schools on the off seasons when the, academic school's not in, right? Picture Boy Scouts, picture cadets, and for my American friends, ROTC, right? Picture fucking, MMA clubs, archery clubs, drive school, and woodwork and metalwork, but I start you off, at primary school age. Right, by the time you get to high school, you know every fucking tool in your woodworker's workshop probably better than he does. Right, I want to teach practical skills and teach the next generation. Right, that is my legacy when it comes to having children, because I'm not having motherfucking children. Right, and basically, I hope to attain at least half of the skills I don't have now, over the next 3 to 5 years, and hopefully a little bit of national service in the meantime. Hopefully we don't go to fucking war. But there's a mini bootlegger. I covered a few fucking topics, but there you go. This is why I'm a toxic, sexist, misogynist bastard, and if you've made it this far, maybe you realise I've got a few valid points, and I actually do give a shit about my ladyfolk. I don't want to see you fucking with unwanted children, but I also don't want to see you, having to fucking kill unwanted children, because, I don't agree with that. And not only that, but, both men and women should be taking on the fucking common fucking sense responsibility to make sure there aren't any unwanted children in this world. Because, quite frankly, right, I don't want to have children, but those of you who do, right, think about it this way. There are lots of you that can never have children. And there's some of you that, whether you realise or not, you are an accident or an unwanted child, right? Throughout the majority of humanity's history, I guarantee you the 90th percentile of people are the only people who are unwanted. In other words, less than 10% of people were actually wanted babies. Everyone else is either you were a happy accident, or a surprise, or yeah, I didn't want you, right? I'm supposedly one of them. I'm a rape baby. By my own ethos, I should have been aborted. So I leave you with this, right? I'm MGTOW because you don't want me putting my towel in you. Because then, as far as I'm concerned, if you want the guy who goes out and, makes you the money, and you can stay at home and be the housewife. Because a lot of women are coming around to the idea. They don't want to be in the workforce anymore. Right? They want to be at home and have all the creature comforts that the technology of the last minute have invented for them. You want me to bring home the money? Then bitch, you fuck me the way I want you to. I'm toxic. Not all MGTOWs are incels. Believe me, if I want it, I just get off my ass, I work out a little bit, I eat properly, I find work, I make myself look trim, and I literally throw money at you until you start drooling over the money and then ignoring the fact that I'm a toxic fucking cunt. I get laid. I'm the asshole bad boy. Right? It's just I have enough fucking common sense now that I've been knocked down a peg or two into fucking poverty a few times to realize how much of a cunt I am. And, yeah. And, I hope there's one particular person that listens to this, see some parallels in these confessions of mine and someone they're currently with, but that's another story entirely. Anyway, this has been Bootleather. I don't even know what to fucking call this one other than, mad male ramblings.